they're all using the Era. Okay, so just a quick clarification. Of course, Soon TM were known as Era just previously. And the reason that they haven't changed their name is because you can only change your name on Uplay once every 30 days. I believe it's 30 days. So because of that, they are going to be running under the tags in-game of Era, but they are not, of course, with Era any longer.
Right, and yeah. So they'll get around to changing it. I believe Bosco was asked on his stream why he didn't just take the tag off, and that's because he's not going to wait, a 30-plus days from that exact moment to make that change.
Another thing is their name is Soon TM, which means that eventually, of course, I'm sure they have another name change that they're going to want to make eventually.
10 seconds left.
So that's probably why they haven't gone and changed it right now. They're saving up their name
5
change.
seconds to go.
But interestingly here, a defense of the bottom floor to start us off, not going to be going up to Armory, the most common bomb site on this map. They will instead go down to Ventilation Workshop, which is obviously our go-to secondary.
At least they're not starting off with bathroom tellers.
We've seen that.
Yeah, never successful.
I think,
not for the first round, I would say.
Not in the last
there you go.
3 or 4 seasons. I don't think we've seen a first round successful tellers defense. But I know if we look pretty far back, maybe there's 1 or 2 of those.
But so for this setup, you need a castle. That's what they'll bring. It'll be Billboard. What I found actually fascinating about Talon's interview, he said that he's IGLing now.
Yeah.
He was not the IGL previously. So that is a change right there on their roster as well. So, I mean, we know that we as viewers can kind of cheekily place all the blame at his feet. Of course, they lose.
Yeah, so we're going to be every time we see Ronin lose a round, it's going to be, oh, Talon, unfortunately, calling it incorrectly. As Yellow runs out through the window, he will go back into B. Just a quick check there for Yellow, but that means they won't be able to make that play should Soon TM set up on the B site later. This is an interesting nade. Going to be clearing out the Castle Barricade, hopefully to catch off Castle. It will do just that. Billboard goes down. Nice job there from a man, and a double kill for him. Cookies peeking a little bit wide there. Will die to my man.
They just weren't expecting that push. Immobilized by the EE1D, which is, of course, its intended effect, is to keep you completely planted in place. You see there is no mute on defense, so no real opportunity there for them to use those jammers as a means of moving around undetected. As well, with Yellow's rotate, he went undetected himself, so he was able to get back to site without anybody seeing. They've got pressure from above. They've got pressure just on the peripherals of the actual site, or the periphery of the site itself. And as the EE1D goes down, Benji takes off 9 lines head, leaving just Yellow and Talon. Will get very aggressive, though, and the IGL and captain of Ronin will push up. He'll claim Benji before getting refragged from Bosco. That was the sledge playing at the top. And it's all up to Yellow. The Vigil will be alone on site in a 4v1 favoring Soon TM as the round is coming to a close.
And he's just waiting for an opportunity. He knows Thermite is inside of that bathroom. Sees Thatcher, gets the headshot there. Crazy goes down. Relocation by Yellow to try and keep things in his favor. Spraying down the main hall, though. My man, I think that's his 3rd kill of the round. Well done to him. Fantastic round overall. And well done as well to, of course, the Lion player with that EE1D to set up a man for that swift double kill in the beginning.
That C8 takes a lot of abuse from people for its unwieldy recoil, and it did seem to absolutely benefit my man there, as you saw the bobble at the very last second to take off the head of the Vigil player and give Soon TM their first win. And if the series with EG and SSG is any indicator, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of attacking round wins. I don't think it was just necessarily a clubhouse-style deal, because Cafe was very close as well, mind you. Ended up being 5-1, so you had more of an even split, but it's going to be something that we see emerge. Way too soon to call it, but something to watch out for.
So a little bit more of a conventional setup here from Soon TM. They're going to be going to the top floor rather than downstairs. And there's not really much to talk about there. I mean, it really just is a case of, oh, can we mix them up? And oh, this is our slightly more preference here. I mean, it doesn't matter in the long run because you go to both bomb sites. So whatever floats your boat, really. Gurmy going to seemingly set up a 75% hold over by CCTV as he starts opening up walls and moving his way over into just that position. Yes, indeed, there it goes. So we have seen, I guess, less of these CCTV holds from the defense than in seasons prior. I think when this hold initially came out, when it was a new thing, everyone wanted to do it, and then it saw a little bit of a fall in popularity. But interestingly, as of this new meta, it's been coming a little bit back.
We've been seeing so many office takes that you typically will find that the defense will stack up more on the office side and not utilize the CCTV or monitor's room as a means of holding that down, which is confusing because that mirror window that you set to 75 volt, that mirror window being over there inside a CCTV, which Marcio is just locating for us right now, that gives you so much control over that entire stretch of the eastern staircase. And then of course you can see in the fountain, which has been completely shot open too. So basically denying all of that room for the defense to be able, or the attackers to be able to push in by the defenders.
And that's exactly where Ronin is going right now. So they're sort of falling into this trap as they move their way to the top of East, as well as the East balcony, or top East stairs, that is. They are going to have a good position to start an assault onto Office, but the question is, can they get past Office? That is really the big hump in this attack. Now, you also have an IQ, that's Billboard downstairs looking for Crazy, reading that there is going to be a pulse. Very wise play here from Ronin, but Crazy going to be on the other side of the bottom floor.
If you remember, it was Border that was actually Border being picked by, when they were known as Era, against Space Station Gaming. You had Bosco and Crazy with those huge clutches playing upstairs. When you had Crazy on the Legion playing off of that deployable shield, he'll now go with the Pulse instead.
So he's going to have to face down two players. Talon and Billboard are trying to hunt him down. Zofia and the IQ. Now IQ, of course, could be able to call it if he uses the heartbeat detector, but Talon gets lit up from above. My man, good control over the top of those main lobby stairs. Crazy calling out that position of IQ. Going to also go for some pre-fires.
And it's always sunny in Border as the wild card of Crazy downstairs, finally dispatched by Billboard. It looked like he was going to be able to persist a little longer, but his lifespan isn't more than 10 seconds after getting spotted, and that's the IQ doing due diligence to find him. So you still have 9 operators left with just a minute to go. They've managed to ease off the main floor so they don't have to worry about the threat of a C4 going up or even that intel being gathered. Bosco, who is so formidable on this smoke, he'll take out the Ying before the Ying can really get the gadgets down, and that is a lot of utility that will no longer be available to the team, and he's going to hang out inside of security. He'll be immobilized by that EE-1D and still have the mirror window, though, at his advantage as Ronin coalesces around the bomb site.
Only 20 seconds left. Gurmy going to get down by a grenade, and the C4 from Benji trying to deny the defuse plant, but it's not going to work. As it seems like the attack has control of the front of B bomb site. My man will actually get Billboard. Talon responds, and Benji trying to anchor hard with 5 seconds left. All he needs to do really is stay alive and deny the plant, and he does just that. What a clutch from Benji, a double kill on the 9-line, and Talon waiting out the time and denying the defuse plant in the back of sight. What happened there? It looked like control was well in hand of the assault, but they couldn't get that plant down.
They pushed separately. And that's something that we've seen teams lose entire rounds to. You lose your momentum. At this level, taking one-on-one engagements is usually always going to favor the person in the final 10 to 15 seconds who is best positioned to know where the attackers are coming from. That is, that's exactly where Benji was. He knew where they were going to feed in through. He watched the doorway from Fountain, was able to get the kill, and then he pushed up and looked towards the window out on ventilations, expecting somebody else to come. He saw that diffuser. That's when it was red. It was, I believe it was Talon that pushed up at that point. He took down the Zofia, and they just ran out of time. And if they had pushed in synchronization, you could have potentially pinched Benji and played for a trade, in which you now have control of sight with Talon holding that diffuser, or you have the other member of Ronin be able to go up and get that diffuser. They just didn't do that, and they paid the price.
And a little bit, I would say, of miscommunication, miscoordination that is kind of resembling the issue of new rosters still. But that's the thing, is we're now on week 3. They have, of course, played week 1, and at that point it was forgivable because they had just made those roster changes, I think, a couple days prior to their matchup. But now they need to be, I think, a little bit more in sync than they are. Of course, I'm referring to Ronin, who seem to be struggling right now, at least early on. We're only 2 rounds in. That's very important to remember. They are finally defending the top floor, and this is the first time they've done so. So this could be a little bit of a mix-up.
There's a couple things in that round that really stood out to me. Number one, the play of Pulse below is crazy. It took them a minute and a half to find him and hunt him down, and then by that point, they didn't really have much control from above, and I think part of that was because they were slowed by that mirror in CCTV. They did not put much pressure on that at all. They tried to dislodge Bosco, but couldn't do it.
There was also the fact that they brought specifically an IQ to hunt down the Pulse. So the most efficient tool to complete that job, yet it could not be done efficiently, which is unfortunately, you can't blame the tool in that instance. You have to blame the handler.
or even coordination. You know, the IQ should not necessarily be the only one going after the pulse.
Well,
It did seem like
there was also Talon, I believe it was, on the Zofia, who was trying to hunt him down in coordination, but it was stopped by my man at the top of the stairs, who lit up Talon quite a lot.
He acted as a distraction. They both ended up in a war of words with one another, so to speak, and it was Mamana to fall off. At that point, Talon did push up to Fountain, and I mean, he probably should have stayed at that point with Billboard.
Yeah.
But didn't. This round, though, round number 3, you see Ronin running a very roam-heavy defense too. They've got the pulse downstairs, so they're essentially aping the strategy that we'd seen in round number 2. Having a pulse underneath is pretty commonplace, though.
Yeah, we see this a lot. Usually the meta is evolved through scrims, and it translates to each and every team in the region. And right now the meta is, hey, let's play a pulse downstairs. And as you say, not exactly an uncommon meta, no matter where you are.
My man briefly sees the body of Talon, but Bosco will do the other side, as that is a pinch. And they'll catch Talon. There was no way out for him unless he decided to fire. So he lost the pulse, but look at the time at the moment favoring Ronin a little more than it was the last time around.
It's the same amount of efficiency, really. I mean, overall, it's definitely going to be in favor of the defenders. He did waste a lot of time.
E1D will spy a couple of the rats, I believe, as Lion calls them. But Yellow firing back, he'll take out Benji, and that's the Lion down. That's huge. Man eliminates Billboard playing upside inside that office. Cookies downs with Man, and they're just trading. At half wall, Gurmy will light up Yellow. Cannot connect. Cookies on the stairs coming back to site as 9line finished off by Bosco, and Cookies trades that one. It's 2-2 at the moment with 30 seconds to go. Yellow has next to no health, and Crazy finishes the last to him off, leaving it all up to the Bandit of Cookies. It was a Bandit in round number 2 who clutched. We'll be able to do it this time. Against the duo of a Thermite and a Thatcher, Gurmy starts to go for the plant, baited with Crazy watching. Cookies will give his position away. He sees him, he'll get it, but oh no, Crazy didn't know! 15 seconds, he'll have to grab that diffuser, and will do so. Cookies tries to warn Crazy off, he sees him, and a clutch from Cookies will give Ronin their first win. What did we say last round about pushing on your own, and
there was also no coverage as well.
Suntiem makes the same mistake.
It's just, overall, I'm not sure what was going through the head of Crazy there. It seemed like he was trying to cut off rotation through small office on the long angle. You can get an angle through the wall and then the doorway, even going all the way to the B bomb site door. But the Bandit was already past that point, and you just need to cover hard. You need to prevent the stopping of the plant, and more importantly, after the plant does get stopped, refrag.
It could have been that, if you recall, it was Cookies playing on the bomb, so he wasn't playing in the office, which is where I think Crazy was initially looking. I think Crazy was looking into the office.
Well, he was trying to cut off rotation on the long angle through office,
right,
all the way towards locker.
Assuming that he hadn't rotated, but Cookies was already there.
He was
that
past.
Yes, exactly, and that's a big mistake from Crazy. An excusable mistake given how much area he had to cover, but the fact that he was so slow to react after that is, to me, the most telling issue, and you leave Cookies in complete control at that point with time on his side. Unless Crazy had gotten the kill around the bomb, which he ended up backing off to try and get the plan down, there really was no way out for him.
It looked like the round was well in hand of Suntiem, but they just couldn't make it work for him. Now, they are going to go on to defense of the Armory, which they did previously, but make it work. Actually, they did make it work.
They're downstairs.
They are downstairs. I am.
So they are
delusional.
So this is excusable. So if you were relatively,
I was like, how are they defending Armory?
if you were relatively new to the game, a huge part of defending this site is playing above, and I think that is where the confusion can lie from. And at that point, it is completely acceptable to realize that, hey, there may be playing a different site. So when you're defending Workshop downstairs, you will often have a lot of bodies up top. Sometimes you'll bring a Mute, sometimes you'll bring a Mira, sometimes you'll bring a Castle. We see 2 of those right now, and out goes the Pulse, and comes the Valkyrie. And that was something I was going to point out, was that we've seen a lot of Pulse, but Valkyrie is usually a very friendly map. Or Border is usually a very friendly map to Valkyrie.
Valkyrie's a friend. Yes. Yes. You know, today has been a really it's been a colorful start. It's been an interesting one. The match has been great so far, and we're having a blast. Now, Ronin, going to be taking from Tellers. You can see this is the very common take that you often see. Yellow going to use the utility of his device. If you didn't already know, those do run underneath doorways. a lot more efficiently than your normal flashbang, so that's going to flash anyone inside a bathroom, allowing the Thermite to plant the Thermite charge on the singular reinforced wall. And that's a good line of sight now that 9line will have into A.
And they've managed to blow open that wall and be able to push into sight without having to take care of bathrooms. So you've essentially, it's I believe a couple teams have referred to it as the caged animal strat, where you leave the defense holed up in a room with a castle barricade, ready to, angry to unleash at any moment. It's essentially what we have right now. And it looked like Gurmy was playing inside the bathroom. Take a dozen or so shots from Talon to be able to take that.
13.
Something along those lines to be able to take out that castle barricade. Another EE will go down, and the red light goes over the attackers. They'll push inside a bathroom, and very smartly, if I can employ that phrase, Suntiem has fallen off, but you have a minute, you still have a lot of action yet to take place. The mirror shows her head, and Yellow promptly removes it from her body. Still has his gas, or still has his smokes, as well as his candelas, his gadgets down. Benji from above is going to be a really big difference maker here. He'll take out one in Yellow as early candelas go down, and 9line amidst the shroud of smoke will be able to get a plant, while the defenders sit still for 4 seconds. Talon in good position as Benji, my man, answer a double.
Whoa!
From Sam, leaving just Billboard up. And they did not get the defuse down either. Big problems for Ronin.
That was a huge shift in the momentum of the round, thanks to my man, but he goes down. What a flank from Billboard. Crazy will shut him off, though, and Billboard goes down. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. My man able to walk in through the main lane without any coverage at all from the attack? I mean, usually you have at least one person watching that, and it seemed like the Valkyrie was able to just, hey, I'm just going to come behind, and hey, look, a bunch of free kills, and you can't plant that diffuser? No? Okay, and there's the round. Thank you very much.
Would you call it free real estate?
It's free real estate. It's free real estate. Free real estate.
What was most puzzling to me was that they left Benji upstairs playing on the desk in office over top of the hatch, and it didn't even look like they knew the hatch was open. And how can you open up part of the site and not assess if there's somebody with control above?
And we're taking from tellers into a event of workshop. And you know what let's not do? Let's not take archives. That's a solid plan. I've seen it work, I swear. We should do that every round from here on out. I'm sorry, it's
inexcusable.
It's inexcusable. It's step number 1 usually. We're being a little bit harsh, you know. I guess maybe a little bit, but at the same time, you know, it's the expectation that we place on Ronin because they have that skill to deliver. It just seemed like in that round, they had a little bit of a hiccup.
So of the 4 rounds so far, I would say that 2 of them, the fault of Ronin losing rests solely at their own feet, which is a problem at this level. You cannot be committing those many mistakes, especially when you're facing relegations. Now, this was something we alluded to. Would you care to explain the relegation system and why the stakes right now are as high as they are for both of these two?
We've talked about it before quite a lot, of course, on the stream, but it's so important that it's worth repeating. So essentially this next season, Season 8, is going to be 6 months long. And what that means is that for 6 months, we will have the same 8 teams in each region competing. It will not deviate. It'll just stay as it is. So when you go out of this match, when you lose this match, whichever one of these teams does, they will be put into relegations. And if they lose in relegations, then they will not play in the next season, which means for 6 months, there will be no Pro League for them, which is huge.
So if you're a team like Ronin, as my man seemed to almost catch one defender, but Cookies answers back, and an explosive start to round number 5, as my man, who has been very good so far in this matchup, will not be able to have any impact whatsoever in the next minute and a half. Yellow almost gets missed. He's Vigil. He's invisible to drones, but not to the naked eye, and Bosco is able to finish that one off as he gets 2 now. Dylan Bosco from above, and that is Sledge's playground. He has committed almost his entire time on attack as Sledge to the upstairs portion of this map. I was going to say part of the portion, you know.
So this is what we wanted to see from Ronin last round. It's just some presence upstairs, and now that, as you can see, Era has it, or rather, excuse me, Suntiem has it. It's the tax. It's, you know, and it's not their fault. It's just how it is. But Suntiem, now that they have that top floor control, they're using it so adeptly. And Gurmy elsewhere will get Billboard as he tries to push up the top of East Stairs.
Why was Castle there?
Interesting attempt at a flank there, but that's going to be one of the most covered points of the map. The top of East Stairs always a pivotal point for the attack on border, almost no matter where you're attacking.
And Cookies looks like he's playing down at the main door as well, leaving Talon just off site. So none of them are actually sitting in the bomb sites, but Cookies can play there without really much worry due to the fact there's a castle behind him.
So, again, top floor well in hand of Soon TM. Here come the EE1Ds. A 3 versus 2 as Talon eliminates Gurmy. But Bosco gets his 3rd kill of the round, and Cookie's now the last defender. He has the diffuser, but he's gonna have to wait 20 seconds, and here comes the push. He also has teammates on cameras near his position who will be calling out a lot of information. You tell him when the attack decides to push in to grab their diffuser in this last 10 seconds. And here comes Bosco of 4K. Cookies goes down. What a round from him. Almost single-handedly picking apart enemy team.
Yeah, I bet you could call Bosco a powerhouse. I had to get one in there. So 4-1 match.
Did he hail from Powerhouse?
You know what? He did play for them very briefly. So did Crazy.
I hear that Crazy and Bosco played for Powerhouse, guys. Did you hear about that?
Just a little fun fact.
Do you know Red Groove from Europe? He played for Sleepy.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, which was my thing.
That was your thing.
That was back in the day for about a week.
Some subtle plugs.
There you go.
Match point. This is Ronin's map. I think that is what is being overlooked right now. This is Ronin's map. So Soon TM has a commanding lead right now, and yes, that is very bad. Bosco and Maman have woken up. Benji as well. A good debut for him in Pro League. As for Ronin, they are still trying to find their footing, and right now one round away from going down a map and basically facing, I guess, what would technically be like relegation point. Also keep in mind that Space Station Gaming plays the winner of this matchup, and I mean, we could potentially see a Soon TM Space Station Gaming rematch, which
10 seconds left.
would be a pretty exciting match if it goes that way.
I mean, the last time they played together, yeah, that was pretty great. So, you know, that would be awesome, but it would also be cool if Ronin went up against Space Station. Yeah, I'm just saying, that could be awesome.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. I just meant that it would be a nice rematch. So Ronin has a lot of work to do right now. They're going to go on attack. The last time that they pushed on this site in particular, Yellow died before really being able to use any of those candelas or smokes, which of course is a huge detriment to any push that they may have. Yeah,
it'd be great to see, of course, Ying, one of the most utility heavy operators in the game, whether it be on attack or defense or in this meta or not. She brings a lot to the team, so it'd be great to see Yellow be able to use that in this round as he sets himself up on the balcony. Now this push on this balcony, oh wow, Talon! Good repel there. My man goes down, and that's a good read of the expected roam in CCTV, my man. Of course, a little bit too aggressive. Bosco now going to be all alone playing the mirror window. He has to hold 3 different bottlenecks. You can even call him that.
That's the kind of move that you can afford to take. Gurmy, who only has 1 kill so far today, will get beheaded by Billboard. And Ronin, Benji goes down to a lifeline missile. So a very good start for Ronin to this round. And I say start because it's only been a minute and Bosco has a shred of health. And it's basically just Crazy left at full health right now for his team.
And it seems if this is a start, then it's certainly the beginning of the end, at least for Ronin, or for Soon TM rather. I mean, either way, it looks like it's wrapping up pretty fast here as Ronin have asserted some dominance. We've never seen them do it before. We've never seen this level of play from them so far in the match, so this could be the wake up.
A big difference that they did last time around on this very similar setup was they invested a minute and a half trying to find Crazy. They have not tried to find him at all. The Pulse has languished downstairs as the rest of his team has sat inside of CCTV monitors and essentially just fed themselves to Ronin. Bosco almost loses his head to 9-line, but Crazy comes back and he'll get the very first kill for his team.
You know, I really got to appreciate how Ronin's not taking this too quickly. They realize they have the advantage and they're trying not to throw it away. And as the push comes out, with 2 lit Soon TM players, it's only 1 bullet from each to die, and there go. Oh no, Bosco just a little bit above where he needed to be shooting. Yellow gets a double kill though, and that's some great utility as well as just gunplay from the Ying player, Yellow. But yeah, no, a great round from Ronin, and I think the first really great round we've seen from them.
Yeah, that was all Ronin, and that's the kind of match, that's the kind of, round rather.
Today, man.
That's the kind of round that Ronin needs to have and tie those together to be able to be competitive. I try not to read too much into the fact that this is Ronin's map and they are currently losing.
Is it Ronin's map?
How many times have we been in a situation where, you know, the team will lose their map and then they'll win their opponent's map? It happens quite often, almost to the point where we have suspected that we are getting sabotaged by our production team.
You know what it is? It's no, it's the teams. What they're doing is they're intentionally picking the maps that they don't like. That's the string. Well, it's not that. It's not that.
We'll see if it pays off.
It's not.
The only member of any team not on the board right now is 9line. As for Ronin, you're seeing a healthy share between the rest of the team. As for Suntiem, a bit more top heavy, and losing my man early always hurts them in any round. And that was, I think, a big part of the last round was they got a little cute. And like I said, you can afford to take those chances. You're winning 4-1, maybe get really aggressive and go for broke, but you can't do that a couple times or else you lose your momentum and then you end up facing off in overtime against a team that has, you know, caught fire. They don't want that to happen to Ronin.
So kills aren't everything. They really, really aren't. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, you know, stuff you don't really get to see because it's not, you know, the most flashy stuff, you know, like utility, setup, stuff you call for your teammates and yada, yada, yada. And having not a lot of kills is forgivable. Having a donut 6 rounds in, starting the 7th, it's hard to justify.
It's very tough, and yeah, there's a lot of operators' contributions are not happening on the scoreboard.
Right.
It's not reflected in their point total. It's not reflected in their KD, their rounds survived, etc. I know that we do get. Everybody does, but we in particular do also get caught up in that loop where it's like, oh my, you know, they're doing so well in terms of kills, which is great. That's, you know, half the battle, but it's not.
It's certainly not the whole.
Exactly.
And I mean, I wish there were a lot of things I wish we had. Like, for example, I wish I could tell how long people spend on drones. It's a relevant statistic. You know, how long are you calling out for your team? It's something you don't get to see a lot of. Now, Gurmy, starting things off here, 9line goes down. Fortunately, he's not going to be able to get a kill in this round, so it's going to have to be the next. Interestingly, he was actually peeking, looking for a kill there. Interesting strategy. Also, an unreinforced wall in A, and they're defending the top floor. Now, I can get it if they're defending bottom floor, but this is questionable.
The man goes to entry, and he gets picked apart by Yellow, so Ronin will respond 20 seconds later to even things out. So you've lost your Mira, and you've lost your Buck. For Mira, as long as both those Miras are down, Mira, you know, being removed from the match is not as detrimental as I would say a Buck is, and it does look like both those Miras are indeed down as Bosco has a good angle on both of them, but they've completely taken control of that security room instead of CCTV.
Yeah, Cookies is trying to play the mirror window in B to contest the mirror window in CCTV, which is, you know, kind of interesting. I mean, I understand why you're going to want both those mirror windows, but in a way, when you're setting them up like that, you're countering yourself as a defender.
And that could be an early smoke just to allow a rotate of one of the defenders. They still haven't discovered Talon, who is playing below, and that is a Pulse who is going to be very important as the round goes on. You see that he's already spotted 2. Gurmy, who is the only kill for his team, tries to go for 1. Then a grenade will haphazardly get tossed in. It'll take a chunk of Billboard's health away. The second one will go down, but it will not find a target as Crazy eliminates Cookies, leaving just Billboard playing by Sandwich, and Bosco will tear him asunder. 4v2, Suntiem looking to close this one out.
But the C4 from below, oh, it gets EMP'd! Crazy, the timing, he doesn't even know it, but he could have just saved the round. Benji will get Yellow, and Talon now, the last defender, stopped by an EE1D, sees the line in the hallway, gets the flick onto Benji as he rotates into cafeteria area, but he's got to find 3 more. Now, Bosco is very lit, but he is on point right now with his gunplay, so it might not matter. He's also got 2 teammates to back up a refrag. Oh, a headshot from Talon, but Bosco, exactly that, the refrag, and Talon goes down. That will be it. A 5-2 in favor of Suntiem.
Bosco breaking double digits in the final moments, showing Border is consistently one of his best maps. I think that's a disappointing result for Ronin, probably expecting something a little bit more, and now they will go to Oregon, which is Suntiem's map choice. And like I said, not trying to read into it too much, but this could end up being a very fast game.
Absolutely. I mean, interesting first time we've seen Border played in North America. Well done, or I believe it was, or...
We saw Space Station and Era play it 2 weeks ago. So it might be that it was the first time that Ronin has played it, or Ronin has picked it.
It was the first time that Ronin's picked it.
So there you go.
But either way, an interesting first match for the series. Yes. We could see a third, but as you say, it does look like it's shaping up to be a 2-0, considering we're now going onto Space Station, or Soon TM's pick.
So Oregon is going to await us. The maps play out very differently. They are widely seen as two of the most balanced maps, with two sites that function maybe not in a 1A, 1B type scenario, but there is at least a suitable secondary site that you can start off on. So for the way, example, the way that you saw that Ronin started on Workshop rather than going up to Armory. So for Oregon, you've got Kids Dorms, which is a scene that we've seen more of recently on Oregon, because of the prevalence of Lion. And I stumbled over my words last time around, but basically Lion has made defending the basement very difficult. So you now go upstairs, and that's the site that you will quarrel over.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, I mean, I think it's just comes down to the anti-roam and the fact that Lion makes roaming so hard, and the necessity of roaming on that basement hold.
Right.
I mean, you can anchor all in, but it's super dangerous. And we're seeing a lot more Thatcher, a lot more IQ in this meta as well, and they counter a lot of the utility you would use to anchor all in on the basement. So yeah, again, even accelerating that danger. So here we go. Oregon, yet again, going to be our map. You can see a loadout of all the bomb sites where we could potentially go. We're gonna go to Tower as a start. When was the last time we saw Tower played on?
Oh my!
On
it has been.
Have you ever actually casted?
I've casted it in other amateur leagues. I have never casted
a Tower hold.
Rear stage, back tower.
I want to say it's a lot sooner than.
It's probably a thrill ride. It's probably one heck of a time. So, first kill of the match will happen in the prep phase, and that's Maman, who I'm not certain what he was doing there as Bosco shoots away, and that's an oops. So, get some Fs in chat, please, for our downed mute. However, this is going to immediately put Soon TM at a huge disadvantage, not just because they're down by 1, but Mute is an operator that I would imagine
5 seconds left before
has, in their minds, a huge impact on the way they set up the strategy. Protect your mirrors to allow Mirror to work behind the mirror windows themselves while the EE1D is going to deprive information, because there's only so many routes that a drone can get into the site. You can effectively cut off droning with 3 mute jammers.
You know what that was? That was Bosco wanting more kills. He wants all the kills. He gets all the kills. Got double digits on the first map. He wants double digits on this map, whether it comes from his team or the other team. So starting off with 1 frag, Bosco already in good line for that.
Yeah, he's I mean, not all kills show up on the scoreboard, right? So that one actually won't. But for the way that Ronin has this set up, Bosco though makes up for it with 9line, who's still searching for a kill. Gurmy playing up on that Mira just by the Armory corridor. That's by the doorway of Master, and has firm control. Now, they don't know that the diffuser has been dropped. That's crazy now that's actually playing there. Not Gurmy, my apologies. He's under pressure. Now, this is where a mute jammer would be incredibly helpful, because you could put a mute jammer down so you couldn't get droned, or you could, even potentially take care of that Mira. And I mean, if only they had brought a mute.
Man, why aren't there any mutes? What the heck, my man? What happened, man?
Not doing his job.
What happened? Here comes an EE1D as Cookies repels his way up to the roof. From the window, Talon somehow giving his life away to Gurmy, watching the wrong angle there. I think he was shooting my man's corpse. That's what it was. He saw the mute corpse, and he tried to take it out. Unfortunately, it was already dead. And Gurmy baiting out his dead teammate. So Maman actually being useful in this round.
Bomb located by
Cookies standing just on the corner of that one roof to look inside of Kids. You know that Gurmy is incapable of moving due to the fact that the EE1D went down. The first kill for Ronin is going to come, and that's crazy. That is the Legion gone. He has gotten about half of his goo mines at this point because of the time in the round, but still Ronin finding themselves right now tied up, though, 3v3.
They also have only a minute left, and they haven't really made any progress. Now, luckily for them, Soon TM did open up the closet wall. So if Ronin should choose to use Master Control, should they get it, they will have, well, that as an option since they don't have any hard destructors. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. Now, at the top of Yellow Stairs, Bosco going to be a pivotal operator in these last 40 seconds to deny the push. Billboard on the repel for Generator window. Gurmy gets his second. Yellow goes down as he pushes through the hallway. Benji gets Billboard, and it's just Cookies who pushes. Oh, no, Bosco shuts him down. Trying to come in through that main west window. It's just not going to happen. So, Bosco with a triple kill?
I think you got 3.
Or no, it's a triple kill.
It says 2, but there's definitely 3. There's a third one down there.
Yeah.
Man, not really useful. I will say, though, all jokes aside, I am impressed with the way that Soon TM was able to hold that. Not only are we in a situation where Lion makes any site on Oregon very difficult to defend, not just the basement, but also soon TM is able to come back from the fact that you lose a very important cornerstone of your defense, which is a mute.
I will reference the fact that my man did bait out shots from, I think it was Billboard on the window. He did, yes, indeed. So he was useful in that round, although he didn't.
They never see it coming.
They
never see that one coming.
He did get his jammers down, though.
Hey, how about you kill me, and then my corpse will distract them, and then you get the kill. Okay, let's do it. Great job, my man.
Teamwork, guys. It's teamwork. It was calculated. Bosco knew what he was doing, and that's why they won the round.
So soon TM is only 4 rounds away from making Ronin fight through relegations for the second time. If you're not familiar with who Ronin are, they were formerly known as Onslaught. They have a charming
10
game.
seconds to insertion.
They've been in Pro League previously. They won like the last 2 or
5
3
seconds to
seasons of
insertion.
Challenger League, but failed to make it in, despite some of their colleagues
Attackers
from
recover
Challenger
the
League
diffuser.
making it in. So 2
Attackers
seasons
are
ago, it
moving
was
out to locate a bomb
WBG,
and
who's then known
defuse
as
it.
Core Impact, who made it in on relegations,
Attackers
despite
dropped the
not winning
diffuser.
overall.
Attackers have
So
recovered their
for
diffuser.
Ronin, they will have to go back yet again, and this will be the, I think, the 3rd or 4th season in a row that Ronin would have to fight in relegations, but this time, they would actually be doing it from a Pro League perspective.
Yeah, of course, that's not something that they want to do, but it's looking like that's the situation right now. Bosco, he's been hitting his shots today, but
Located by attackers.
yeah, finally gets it. The trap goes down. So this angle that he's using right now is actually a really common angle, and it's very dangerous to contest as an attacker and defender both. It really comes down to who has it established first. So you can see Bosco, or excuse me, yeah, Bosco, he was looking for, oh, my man, what a shot.
That was incredible.
Yellow goes down. That had to have been from drone work. No, it looks like my man's only now moving his drone in. Just
It was
some
a
good
kill
read
hole.
there.
He saw the kill
He
hole.
saw the kill hole. And a trade between Cookies and my man. One from above, the other below. Neither will come out on top. And Talon retaking the kill. It's very dangerous.
Right, and the man making up for lost time with 2 kills after not being able to participate in round number 1 due to some friendly fire. Still, though, an advantage of Soon TM. Almost half of the round has gone. The only one that is down is my man. They've been using that buck as their primary entry fragger, and in fact, a little odd here from Soon TM is they're using a sledge and a buck combo. That grenade will hit its mark as 9line still killless. Benji fells Talon as Billboard takes Bosco down, but he's the only one left. A smoke is a pivotal operator to have when you're the last member of a team. He's crucial in the final, 30, 40 seconds, but when there's a minute and 20, there's still EE1Ds to go. Red light will capture 1 as Crazy finishes off Billboard, and it's 2 in a row for Soon TM now. They're just gonna continue their march onward.
Interesting that we saw Ronin try to defend the bottom floor. We're talking about how that is really not in the meta right now as your go-to bomb site, and it really restricts you as a team. You could see quite clearly that those roamers up above were picked apart without any contention whatsoever. I mean, partially that's thanks to my man specifically with some great gunplay, but also you have to factor in that it's just how the meta is right now. Another curious thing is that we had Ronin defending upstairs, and they didn't reinforce some of the common walls that you would expect. Maybe the walls over by tower, the walls in attic, to prevent those pushes from Soon TM that were so inevitable. And because of that, Ronin, obviously, they lost the roam game very fast.
Now will be the real test, though, for Ronin, as Soon TM is locked out of going upstairs. They will have to pick one of the other 3 sites, even though it is a lot harder to defend the basement now than it has been in previous seasons. You're still going to prefer it over kitchen or rear stage and back tower. So that's exactly where Soon TM is going to go at the moment. For me, the big thing with Lion is that so much of a focus about holding basement relies on having usually 3 bodies off-site, maybe 2 in meeting hall. You can do the, what is it there? It's referred to as the 1-2-2 or the 2-1-1, which is when you'll have 2 bodies upstairs and 1 on the main floor, or 1 upstairs and 2 on the main floor. Because the basement of Oregon's a bit claustrophobic. You can't really put 3 defenders downstairs.
There's only, I mean, if you're dealing with a main lobby attack, and you're defending downstairs, and there's only 2 or 3 positions that you can play to deny that push in through the main lobby. I mean, there's not much room to breathe. If there's any more players, then the only thing they could be doing is watching the potential flank, which, of course, some teams on attack, they like to put someone in construction tunnel to late flank, but you still don't need that many bodies. Maybe 2 people tops downstairs. Those guys upstairs, what they're going to be doing is trying to delay for time, keeping themselves in the mind of the attackers, and just trying to distract overall.
They'll hit the front hatch quite hard. And this is also another thing that Lion has done is they've made it difficult for you to play aggressively in that classroom, maybe on the armory stairs, because of the fact that exactly this. As you start to hit that hatch and push up, that's when you drop the EE1D and it prevents anybody from being able to push in.
You can see my man playing with his mute, obviously not going to be able to get droned out very easily, so he's going to play aggressive on this spot, but he might be caught out by Lion. That's Cookies, who's playing in garage, waiting for this push. Seems to be holding the angle. Meanwhile, Crazy upstairs, also looking for a potential flank. He just has to time it right. You do have 9line, who's playing on the main lobby stairs above, who is not watching for the potential push right now from Crazy. So that could actually give them a kill.
But they've already dropped before going down, and how do you miss that? Gurmy takes out 9line, who won't get a kill still, but he gets the diffuser down, as now Ronin is circling in. Talon with 2, and now Yellow with Billboard joining the fray. It's all up to Crazy, who will need to clutch, but won't get it done. And Ronin proves that defending that bottom floor is pretty difficult for just about every single team. And despite the fact that my man made it alive out of the prep phase, not enough for his team. Ronin finally on the board. It seems like it's been a while since they won. Around about 5 rounds so far since they've been able to get one. It's the right time to do it.
Yeah. Tagging onto the bottom floor, I think, is, of course, the round you really need to win, but I'm just not sure. And this is interesting. Okay, so Ronin hasn't won a defense, and they're going to go downstairs again. Questionable decision-making process there from Ronin. However, it could, I mean, it could work out. We can't knock it until they get 2 tries, right? The 3rd try, then I think you can start saying, yeah, that maybe that's a mistake. But they can still make this work. Anyway, yeah, on that last round, there were some pretty massive oversights on SoonTM, of course, allowing such an easy waltz into the site. I talked about how, okay, I talked about how you only need maybe 2 people to deny that push and deny that plant. But they only had 1 person. That was the Mira on the Mira window, and that you need at least somebody in a position to rush should that be the tool that's right for the job, given the situation. And in that instance, it was the right tool. We needed a rusher, and SoonTM didn't have a rusher.
No,
5 seconds left.
That you got to give a lot of credit to Ronin there too. They popped the E1D when there was a lot of pressure going on, established outside of meeting hall. So there was no way for a man to be able to exit. There was no way for Benji to be able to exit. Crazy was still caught upstairs. You effectively made 3 defenders not exist for a long enough period of time that you could hit that site with the smokes and drop. So while we can thrust blame at the feet of SoonTM for how they played that, I think that was really more than anything a key component was how well Ronin was able to take that site quickly.
Yeah, definitely, but no, you're right. You're right. Also, red light.
You don't sound. You sound like you sort of agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you're absolutely correct. There is something to keep in mind, though. It didn't look like when the attack was actually coming out from Ronin that they had very much good coverage. I mean, there was a player in open in the bomb site and 1 person, I believe, on the hatch watching for the push. That's fair. It would have been so easy for someone to shift W and deny the plant. That's my only reservation. But it's beside the point, really. Hindsight is 2020, and as Vigil tries to rotate into kitchen, Bosco has positioned himself properly, and that rotation will be cut off. Yellow, a little bit of a misplay.
Just a couple seconds ago, that 1 pantry wall was still soft, so that was a recent rotation.
It might have been from above?
Vigil. Could have been potentially from above. That's right, he was playing. He was playing in above, so he was able to get the hatch inside of the kids' dorms and make that drop, but there was Bosco waiting. And like I said, the way we've seen SoonTM playing is they're using Maman and Bosco as extra fraggers, the sledge-butt combo. Not always that usual to see them being a duo. Again, Maman tries to take somebody out through a kill hole, but there's nobody there as Talon was sitting just beside him.
I would even argue unusual, really. Yes. I mean, it's the SoonTM lineup does. I mean, it's really working. I don't take Bosco off sledge, and don't take Maman off Buck. They're both fragging out. And as I say that, a frag will hit Talon right in the face, but luckily for him, he's a doc, and he's going to be able to pick himself up and continue playing in that position. Because, of course, there are no point notifiers in Pro League. There's no way my man could have known he hit a doc there.
And he doesn't know he got the down. He doesn't know he even got a kill there, so that could have just been went fishing and didn't hit anything.
I mean, even if you get the down, then you don't need to check it normally, because the guy's down in attic. There's no way someone's going to pick him up, but it's a doc. So Talon, yeah.
A roaming doc, mind you.
It is a little odd.
So we see EMPs go off. There was a smoke that had stopped the push from above. Maman will get a grenade in, and 2 grenades come out as Maman and Bosco take out Billboard and Cookies, and now Bosco will put pressure in by himself. It's just Talon and 9line. Now Talon will use both of those rotates as he goes from above. We'll have the diffuser working against the defenders. Ronin only has 2 in a 5v2 with Suntiem looking to go up by a score of 3-2. Talon, no, cannot get anything from that. Bosco and Benji, the 2Bs, get the last 2 members of Ronin as they just simply looked overwhelmed. And when it's a 5v2, you can just play for trades at that point. I mean, they didn't even really need to. They just went frag hunting, and Ronin got caught out of position.
Absolutely. Suntiem, yet again, another very decisive round. Ronin now, hopefully when they go into defense, will go somewhere other than Laundry, because they have been struggling now, only going to Laundry every single time. So, I mean, I want to see the Ronin that defends top floor. I want to see what they have to interpret that floor. I want to see how they're going to hold that. Because we haven't seen it yet. And now, Suntiem going to get to go back to their preferred bomb site, because we've seen rotation. They went downstairs. They obviously lost that round, but at the same time, you could still refresh since this is not ranked.
Yep. So for Suntiem, it's once again been a joint effort. For Ronin, strong performers on their team being able to hold it together. Suntiem, not as top-heavy as previously. Bosco, though, doing work in both, I think, both of the matches that we've seen thus far. We are 1 round away from match point. And yeah, I think this is going to really benefit Suntiem here. And keep in mind, the last time they won this site, they did it at a disadvantage, a self-imposed disadvantage, as they had gotten that team kill earlier on. They will avoid that mistake. Maman will make it alive out of the prep phase.
Yep.
He can have the ability to put those mute jammers down without worrying about paying the ultimate price.
So they won that round as well, so this extra layer might just be enough for an absolutely dominant performance from Suntiem. And if they do win this one, of course, we have a match point and relegation point, as you referenced earlier, which is very daunting for Ronin. They have to be thinking to themselves that they need to make changes now or never.
And there's some very good teams in North American Challenger League. And
yeah,
we used to be in a phase where, you know, North American Challenger League, especially of all the Challenger Leagues, wouldn't always put up the best opposition. You usually have, you know, maybe one team that get relegated at absolute most, but I think we're now in a stage where North American Challenger League is very much on the ascendancy. There's a number of teams that will all be competing. Bigger orgs are starting to get invested. Teams are getting better, and this is a time when you cannot be taking these gambles against teams in Challenger League, because there isn't that much of a gap between 7th and 8th in Pro League, 1st and 2nd Challenger.
Yeah, wow. Coordination to push Crazy off the mirror window. I believe that was a grenade from below or a lifeline from below, followed up by a firebolt at the same time. But Crazy manages to get away with his life as an EE1D pops. That's going to force the defenders to stand still, but no capitalization at all from Ronin. All they've managed to do is take control over Meeting Hall, which, you know, at half the round already expired isn't exactly a lot.
No, it still looked like he has the ADS. The mute jammer has been taken out, but the ADS is still there available for him. But no, the mute jammer's there as well. It's obscured very briefly. 9line finally finds his very first kill. And if we can give a quick round of applause here, that took him 12 rounds from my map to be able to get on the board. And that's the Thermite taking out the Hero. So Ronin has a numbers advantage, and just over a minute left to go. So Suntiem once again finds himself at a 4v5.
But they do have the positional advantage as well as the time advantage, as Crazy breaks his own window. Yellow will go down, and my man gets one out of town, but Billboard, what an angle to refrag, disabling that Attic player. So that man advantage has been lost and is extended actually into the direction of Suntiem, the opposite team now, who are anchoring fairly well. Now there is still a Lion, and I believe he has at least one EE1D, so might be able to use that to pivot this round back in his team's favor, but he's contesting Benji all the way downstairs with only 30 seconds.
All Benji needs to do is just hold him up and make it so that Lion has to make the choice of, do I potentially risk a flank, or do I potentially burn a lot of time and just try to get the Jaeger done? 9line was creeping up towards the closet, and if he goes to crouch his way in, he's going to be in trouble. He'll get smoked off anyways. There's no push for him. Bosco sees the Lion and can't move. Gives himself away for just a second, but he's in a position where there's a potential mute jammer hiding him. Speaking of mute, it's my man who will get that final kill, and we will be on match point. And yes, avoiding relegation point, as we'll call it, because I think relegation point, probably, I thought after I said it, relegation point would be like when you're actually in relegations, you could potentially be relegated. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It works in this context. We'll say that.
So Suntiem wins upstairs. And take a look, Ronin will finally break out of their laundry room funk, and they will go up to Kid Storm's and Dorm's main hall, which is what Ronin should have done 2 rounds ago, but now they'll have a chance to do it. They will, however, be facing defeat when they finally correct the mistake.
Last round, we gave a round of applause to 9line for his very first kill in this match. This round, I have to give a round of applause, in all sincerity, to Ronin for actually mixing it up and going to the other bomb site. Now, it took them 2 losses downstairs to realize they needed to make that change. And, you know, for all we know, it's not going to let them win, but at the same time, they did make the change. Right. Some other teams would be, well, they wouldn't. They wouldn't commit to that. They would just stay with what they've got, and it would cost them oh so dearly.
I mean, it's a surprise in general to see a team favor the downstairs at this point because it has been so uncommon. It's like Clubhouse. It's like going to bar when you have the opportunity to go to basement.
Although, I mean, to be completely fair on that point, we've been having a lot of teams struggle to defend the basement of Clubhouse.
We've been struggling to defend everything on Clubhouse, though.
Clubhouse is hard, man. Yeah. It is hard in this meta.
Attackers
you know
drop the bomb diffuser.
I know exactly what you meant. And no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Spawn peak is being read here for Bosco, but just inches away there. Talon will be able to rotate off of it. Gurmy, though, did get cookies, so I'm guessing that's some other spawn peak somewhere. Yeah, he ran out. He jumped out the window at the bottom of White Stairs. No, he didn't. I'm completely incorrect.
He was playing down there earlier. Could have been spawn peeking. Could have potentially been going for a late Valkyrie cam throw.
Maybe
Not
that,
entirely certain. Weren't able to see it, but you can't lose somebody this early when you're at a point like this.
Yep.
Talon, though, will get Bosco. Like I said,
that's huge.
A bit delayed. Not only is it huge because you've taken out one of the entry fraggers, but also inarguably the best player for Suntiem so far this game. The man will, though, miss his grenade, and that will allow the Mira of 9line to stay alive longer than maybe the man had expected. Though Gurmy gets kill number 2 on the yellow as Talon takes out my man and Crazy. Eliminating Talon will mean that it is 3v2 in favor of Suntiem. Just Billboard and 9line left. Well, it's looking to be a lot of work for 9line, who only has 1 kill so far in this matchup, and then Billboard as the smoke.
But they do have the positions, at least. If anything, 9line and Billboard have the positions, but you are going to have to see 9line as if get at least 1 kill in this round in order for it not to go decisively in favor of Suntiem. Billboard using 2 gas canisters already in this round with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. There isn't much time delay, and that's the 3rd. Interesting use of the gadgets there from Billboard. That will cost him in the long run, and it's not going to actually matter as Crazy gets him on a long through the west window. Absolute domination here for Suntiem. It looks like unless 9line on 1 HP can get 3 kills, it will be a win for Suntiem. And yes, there it is. Benji finishes off 9line. That's it. That's all she wrote. GG's come out in the chat, and a 5-1 for Suntiem. So the rotation upstairs just didn't change it.
They did look better than they looked downstairs
A little bit.
in their defense. So Bosco will be your MVP of both matches. You can see swinging away at Journey's end, and they will live to see another day. However, for Ronin, their season is done. So the next time we will see Ronin will be sometime in a month or so, when they will be facing off in relegations to see if they can hold on to their spot in Pro League. But for Suntiem, who may or may not have an org announcement. Suntiem. They'll be playing off against Space Station Gaming in a very